finding peace.
We need to honor him in some manner today.
Loved ones, friends, and the community remember Elijah McLean the way his family wanted, with joy and zero violence.
A year ago, there was only a couple dozen people here, and now we have thousands and thousands of people saying her son's name.
We're not going to stand for it. We're not going to stand for their anarchy, their chaos, or their mindless destruction in our city.
As city leaders and police vow to hold rioters accountable, with more crowds gathering tonight.
Plus, the new COVID-19 treatment cleared by the FDA.
And one metro school district pumping the brakes on e-learning.
We were thinking it was going to be okay. We trusted them.
We begin tonight with breaking news. 2 people shot outside a Lakewood Walmart, and the shooter is on the run right now.
You are looking at a live picture of a large police presence at the Walmart at Colfax and Wadsworth. The initial 911 calls came in around 8:30 tonight, and it's still a very active scene, as you can see there, with police evidence markers around those 2 vehicles there in that Walmart parking lot. Right now, police tell us the 2 people shot have been taken to the hospital. We don't know their conditions. The shooter took off, and police are now asking people to avoid this area.
And we do have a crew there, and we'll bring you the latest information on air and on the denverchannel.com as it comes in.
Now to our other top story tonight. For weeks, Shanine McLean has been asking for peace and for her son's name to not be used for the wrong message. Tomorrow will mark 1 year since her son Elijah died after being detained by Aurora police. Violent rioters have tried to take over this weekend, pulling the focus away from Shanine's message and Elijah's memory.
So tonight, they are not our main focus. Tonight, we are focusing on the peaceful gatherings in Elijah's name and the changes that have happened in the year since he died. We begin tonight in Montbello at an event called Gathering in Gratitude.
Lance Hernandez is at the Montbello Rec Center, where tonight was filled with a variety of emotion. Lance.
Well, this was not an event with a lot of protest signs and speeches. This was just an opportunity to sit on the turf and listen to music, even get up and dance. This was all about remembering Elijah McLean in a positive way and included a beautiful violin tribute.
I hope Shanine McLean and so many other mothers of the movement are embracing this love that their community has at this moment.
Dozens of people gathering to remember a young man who loved music and taught himself how to play a variety of instruments.
I'm embarrassed to say I only learned of his passing in the last couple months.
Rebecca Vera didn't know Elijah McLean, but felt a kinship toward him.
I feel like he could have been a friend of mine. I mean, we shared a lot of the same interests. I'm a cello player, musician, and I work with animals for a living.
Elijah was on his way home from a convenience store last August 24th when someone called police and said he looked suspicious. Police stopped him, forcefully detained him, used a chokehold, and then asked EMTs to administer ketamine. He suffered a heart attack and later died. Many people tonight thinking about the pain felt by Elijah's mother.
We can't even feel her pain in this time, but so many people here are trying to find accountability and justice for her son, and so many other sons of the mothers who are showing up here today.
We have to do a better job as humans.
Former Arapahoe County Commissioner John Brackney among those attending. I asked if he thinks we need change.
Do we want to take another human life and live with that in a potential mistake? And the answer is, of course we don't. And we don't want to do it the other way too, where somebody's spouse doesn't come home because they're a cop. So it is crazy complex, but right now we don't have the right mixture.
Another event participant, Dante Louie, told me that in order to end systemic prejudice against Black and Hispanic youth, he says more people need to get involved. He says right now we have a system where if it's not my child, it's not my problem. And he says that needs to change. In Montbello, Lance Hernandez, Denver7.
Thanks, Lance. And since McLean's death, change is happening slowly. Really, though, it didn't start until a few months ago after the George Floyd protests brought renewed calls for justice and put this story back in the spotlight.
Denver7's Ivan Rodriguez is looking at the changes over this past year and how Elijah became a worldwide name.
For Elijah McLean's parents, the last years have been filled with sadness in the pursuit of justice.
He was a happy young man. He was always energetic.
You will be held accountable for what you've done.
Their words rang through the streets of Aurora and Denver as protesters demanded police accountability and greater transparency.
It was amazing to me to be able to watch all people from all races, kindreds, tongues, and nations of people to come together in unity for a common cause.
Bishop Jerry Demmer with Ministerial Alliance stood next to Elijah's parents a month after his death.
We've seen this happen over and over for years. We can go 400 years with no change. But I believe that we do have hope.
Since McLean's death, there have been several changes, in large part due to calls for justice nationwide in just the past 3 months.
I mean, I can't say it was worth it because that was my son, you know. I just wish it had been done before he got killed.
The state has passed a police accountability bill.
Senate Bill 217 is passed,
requiring that officers face imminent threat before using deadly force, among other things. Also, the city of Aurora banned police from using chokeholds and carotid holds, like the one used on McLean. There are now 5 separate independent investigations into his death at the state, federal, and local levels, including a top-down review of the Aurora Police Department by the state attorney general. And the state health department announced it is reviewing the use of ketamine in the field, a powerful sedative injected into McLean by Aurora fire paramedics.
I want Elijah McLean's case to be a conduit for change.
Demmer says one of the most important changes moving forward is community and police partnership.
We haven't got there yet in Aurora because we understand the Chief Wilson is brand new and she's just starting her tenure as chief. We are communicating, but as far as us seeing any kind of positive changes, that have not happened as of yet.
A year since McLean's death leaves many with hope for more change and growth in the months to come. Ivan Rodriguez, Denver7.
And of course, there are some people that are trying to take the spotlight away from Elijah and instead focus on violence. This is a live look downtown of Denver right now from Air Tracker 7, where we are keeping an eye out for any groups that had planned to march through downtown Denver tonight. So far, we have not seen any major activity other than police out there patrolling the streets. Last night, rioters broke windows and set fires in the areas around Denver Police Headquarters. People in connection to that incident. They are facing charges ranging from criminal mischief to assault and having a dangerous weapon.
Breaking tonight at 10, the president's counselor, Kellyanne Conway, has just announced that she is leaving the White House at the end of the month. In a statement, Conway says for now, her focus is less drama, more mama. This comes after a series of tweets from her daughter's unverified Twitter account bashing Conway and her support for President Trump. In the latest tweet, 15-year-old Claudia said that she was seeking emancipation from her parents. And earlier this afternoon, George Conway, Kellyanne's husband, tweeted that this would be he's taking a Twitter hiatus and that he was devoting his time to his family.
Yet another wildfire is burning in Colorado tonight. This one is in Tarryall, just outside of Woodland Park, which is east of Colorado Springs. The Thorpe fire has burned 150 acres so far, and campsites nearby are being evacuated. More evacuations are also being ordered near the Bluestone fire, which is west of Fort Collins. That fire started yesterday and has burned close to 200 acres.
We want to give you some great news from 2 of the major wildfires burning in Colorado tonight. The pre-evacuation notice for people living near Sweetwater in Garfield County, that has been lifted tonight as crews get better control of the Grizzly Creek fire. It's now 22% contained. Also tonight, a huge jump in containment on the Pine Gulch fire out near Grand Junction. That fire went from being 19% contained to 44% contained over the weekend. That fire is still the second largest in Colorado history. Now the question is, will this be one of Denver's hottest years on record?
Today we hit our 63rd day in the 90s. Our average number of 90-degree days in Denver in an entire year, just 31. We're now just 10 more 90-degree days away from tying the record set back in 2012.
And did you see that crazy haze there? Katie LaSalle joins us now for the weather. And Katie, this is a record that none of us, especially firefighters, wants to break.
We tied our record today, you guys. 98 degrees out at DIA, a scorcher of an afternoon. The haze, the smoke will linger as we start this week as well. Temperatures in the mountains above normal in the upper 80s to low 90s. Not a lot of relief in sight this week. You can see our averages 86 and 57 normally this time in late August. We'll get back there, but it looks like we'll stay in the 90s at least through Thursday. So far, this has been the second most ever 90-degree-plus days we've seen in a year on record. Outside right now, it's very pleasant. We're in the 76 degrees in Denver. Wind sustained from the south tonight, gradually cooling to the low 60s. Clouds will clear, but another very smoky start to the day. I'll take you through the extended forecast when we can see a little bit of rain, which we absolutely need. That's coming up.
Katie, thank you. An emergency authorization was granted by the FDA today to treat COVID-19 patients with convalescent plasma. The president is calling the move a breakthrough that he hopes will help get coronavirus patients treated faster.
This is a powerful therapy that transfuses very, very strong antibodies from the blood of recovered patients to help treat patients battling a current infection.
While studies of convalescent plasma do show potential to help COVID-19 patients, some criticize that the treatment hasn't been tested in randomized clinical trials. And here in Colorado, we added another 290 positive COVID-19 patients in the last 24 hours, bringing our total up to more than 55,000. We've also been adding, around 300 new coronavirus cases each and every day for the past few weeks. And here's a look at the hospital beds being used by COVID-19 patients here in Colorado. There are now 225 beds being used, with more than 10,000 still available.
A series of COVID-19 cases in schools across the metro are being reported. At Sand Creek Elementary and Highlands Ranch, staff confirmed to us that one person in the 6th grade cohort has tested positive, and because of that, all 6th graders and 6th grade teachers will be remote for the next 2 weeks. We're also learning tonight one teacher at Fletcher Middle School in Jefferson County has tested positive for COVID-19. And in Weld County, 36 students at Tozer and Mountain View schools are quarantined until next month after having close contact with a positive coronavirus patient. Tomorrow, several schools are starting their year remotely. Kids in the Denver, Jeffco, Poudre schools, and Adams 14 districts. Littleton School is also starting tomorrow using a combination of in-person and remote learning.
That was also supposed to be the case for Douglas County tomorrow, but tonight the district is telling parents and students who opted for the full online learning option that the first day of school is being postponed. On its website, the district says the program that was chosen for online students is having technical difficulties nationwide. They also said staff did not have access to the digital content. One Douglas County mom we spoke to says she's concerned about the district's e-learning option going forward and is considering other options.
I literally have to look at other options for my children. I don't know if that, I don't even know what that looks like. You know, I don't know if that's saying, okay, I need to maybe hire a teacher part-time and let them do homeschooling. I have no idea.
Douglas County Schools tells us nearly all of the teachers needed for e-learning have been hired. Nearly all the teachers needed. This week, they will be focusing on hiring more teachers and ensuring high schoolers have everything they need to meet graduation requirements.